For the homework on end behavior, you're given a function. Here's an example of what a function might be. And you need to graph on your calculator, sketch the graph, then describe the end behavior. First, graphing on your calculator, I have some shots of my own calculator of how you'd graph it. First, of course, you'd enter the function into your y equals. Then you might need to adjust the window so you can actually see your graph. For this particular one, in order to get a window shot like this, I had to set my window, I had to have my y min and y max actually pretty small, and my x max and x min, actually all of them had to be much smaller than the one that I showed in class today. And you'll find, depending on your functions, you might have to increase or decrease, play around with your window so you can get a pretty good idea of what your graph would look like. And of course, it's important for some of them that go up and down. You'll see this when you do your homework. The functions, you want to be able to see the bottom part right here, as well as to make sure that the end behavior of your window, of the function, is actually tending towards the correct direction on your screen over the entire function. For this one, this is pretty much a zoomed out. The more that I zoom out, I can see that the function is still tending in the same direction as this screenshot right here. So just play around with that, make sure that you're sure that this function will be going in the same direction in every shot. Next, sketch the graph. That means by hand, and so what the graph might look like here if you were going to sketch it is something like this. You want to try to take into account the little bumpity bumps, because we're going to be working on that next class, and then of course also put in the arrows to indicate that the graph is going to be going on and on into infinity and beyond. Next, you want to describe the end behavior, and so you can actually describe the end behavior from your sketch of your graph or your calculator. It's up to you. For this one, I have demonstrated using my calculator, so I have my calculator in front of me. I'm looking at the graph, and I would say that the function goes towards positive infinity as the input goes towards positive infinity. That's indicated by this. Then the function goes towards negative positive infinity as x. The input goes towards negative infinity, and that is this part. Now, I hope this brief video gave you an idea of how to complete your homework. Please make sure that you print out the document. You complete it on the page. I know this is a little bit different than what I usually have you do, but I want it all in one spot. And I'm actually going to be keeping track of who has this completed and awarding points for those who haven't done in class, because I want to try out another app that I have been using to document some grades. See you next class.